Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you some basic crochet stitches for absolute beginners. Okay, so let's start with our supplies. So I'm using acrylic yarn here in this tan color. You can use any type of yarn, any color yarn you like, but I would prefer acrylic yarn when you are a beginner because it's easier to handle and it's not really expensive. You don't need high quality yarn when you're practicing. And I'm using a 4mm crochet hook. So most people suggest 5mm or 5.5, but I feel like that's too big, so that's why I'm suggesting a 4mm crochet hook for beginners. Okay, so now let's start with our slip knot. So I hold my yarn like this, okay? So I loop the yarn around my pinky from the front and go behind, and then I go over my index like that. Okay, and then I hold it with my middle finger and thumb finger. Okay, now you can hold your hook any way you like. Okay, you can use the knife pose like this, or you can use the pencil pose like this. So I hold my hook like this. This is how I like to hold it. It's just, habit. So now you're going to pull your yarn with your hook gently. Okay, you don't want to pull it too hard like that, just gently, and then you twist it. Okay, for not like this, but from the front, like from back to front. Okay, and then you place your index finger on your crochet hook, and then you make a small space over there on the twist with your thumb and middle finger. Just pull the loop a little down with your thumb and middle finger. Okay, and then you go in front of your yarn. Okay, go in front and behind your yarn. Okay, wrapping it around your hook, and you pull it through that gap like so. Okay, you pull it through that gap, and then you're going to pull on the tail end to tighten your slip knot. Okay, so that's all for a slip knot. Now we're going to do something known as a chain stitch. So it's basically chaining. So you wrap you wrap the yarn around your hook and you pull through the loop on your hook. Okay, again, you go in front and you pull through. So we make a V while we're doing that. See, as you can see, that is a V, and that is our first chain. That's our first chain. Again, yarn over, pull through. As our second chain, it's a V shape. Again, yarn over. You want to make sure your loop is loose. Okay, you want to make sure your loop is loose, otherwise you won't be able to pull your yarn through. So you have to pull your hook slightly upwards to make a really small gap for your hook to pass through. See, as you can see, if there's no gap, your hook won't pass through. So you have to pull it slightly upwards, and then you yarn over and pull through. So now to count your chains, you can look at the V's. You can count while you're making them, but if you lose count, you can look at the V's you've made. Okay, so this is my first chain right there. It's my first one, and my second one, third one, and fourth one. Okay, and you don't count the loop on your hook as a chain. Again, we can continue how much ever you want. Okay, so now I'm done. I've made 10 chains, and I'm going to chain one extra. Okay, this one extra is a chain to give height for our stitch. Okay, so we're not going to work into that chain, but we're going to work into the second chain from our hook. Okay, we're going to skip that one, and we're going to work into the second one. Okay, into the back loop. Okay, so every chain has a front loop. Now every chain has a front loop, okay, and a back loop, and behind your chain it has something known as a back bump. So every chain has 3 parts. See, that is the back bump. As you can see, it's the back bump, and at the front we have our front loop and our back loop. Okay, so we're going to skip the first V from our hook and we're going to work into the second V only back loop. So we're going into the chain. Okay, so we go in. Okay, and we're leaving our front loop and back bump. So we're not working into those over there. Okay, then we yarn over. Okay, go behind our yarn and pull it through out of the back loop. Now we have 2 loops on our hook. So now what we do is, again, we yarn over and then we pull through both those loops, and that is known as a single crochet. As you can see, it has formed a V over here, that V. So that is our first single crochet stitch. Again, we go into the V, only back loop, yarn over, pull out. Okay, and then we yarn over and we pull through both the loops. Okay, like so. That is our second V. Again, we can go in, yarn over, pull out, and pull through the 2 loops. Okay, and we can continue this until we reach the end of our chain. In, yarn, pull out, and pull through 2 loops. Okay, so I'll meet you there. Okay, so now I'm done and I have 1 chain left. So we go into that chain, yarn over, pull out, and pull through the 2 loops, and we've made a single crochet. So this is our first row of single crochets. Okay, now we're going to chain 1 again to give height for our single crochet. And then we're going to skip that chain 1 because it's just to give height. So we're not going to work into that. And then we're going to work into the V's, not the back loops, but into the V, like that. Okay? So as you can see, if you turn your work to the side, you can see these holes. So that's where you're going. Okay? You're going under the V and into that hole. Okay? So that's what we're doing. So we go in, we skip the chain, and we go in, yarn over, pull out, and we yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. So we're just repeating the same process, but we go under both those loops, the front loop and the back loop. We're going under the V into that hole, as you can see. And we're going to just do that. And you can continue till you reach the end of your row. You can see these V's are forming at the top. Okay? So now I'm done and there is 1 V left. Most people tend to forget this V, and because of that, their edges turn out uneven. It happened to me when I was a beginner. So you gotta make sure that every V looking shape, you work into that. Okay, and you can also count while you're making your single crochets, so you make sure your edges stay neat. So it'll be a little tight to go in there. You're just gonna squeeze your hook in, and then you're going to yarn over, pull out, and yarn over, pull through the 2 loops. And we chain 1, and we can continue for more rows if you want. So now I'm done with just 1 more row, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a new stitch known as a half double crochet. Okay, so for that it's a bit more taller, so we're going to chain 1 and chain 2. So we have 2 chains, and we're going to skip both those chains and we're going to work into the V stitch. Okay, skip those 2 V's, as you can see. Okay, the first V and the second V, and we work into that stitch. Okay, so now we are going to yarn over before inserting into that stitch. Okay, and then we go into that stitch and we yarn over and pull out. Now since we yarned over before inserting, we have a 3rd loop. And now we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, pull through the first one, the second one, and the 3rd one. Now this is known as a half double crochet. You can see the stitch, right? That's how it looks. Again, we yarn over before, go in, yarn over, pull out, and we yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. just like a single crochet, but we yarn over before inserting, and we have 3 loops when we're pulling through all of them. And we can just continue it till we reach the end of our row. Okay, as you can see, that is our stitch. Okay, so now I'm down to the last V. Again, don't forget that V. Yarn over, go in. Okay, yarn over, go in. And then we yarn over, pull out, and we pull through all 3 loops. Okay, so now I'm going to show you a stitch that is a bit bigger. Okay, so now we're done with our half double crochet, and I'll show you a stitch that is a bit taller than the half double crochet. Okay, and because of that, we are going to chain 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and we're going to skip those 3 V's, and we're going to go into the first stitch. So again, just like the half double crochet, we yarn over and we go in and yarn over, pull out. Okay, so we have 3 loops, but this time we are going to yarn over, pull through the first loop, pull through the second loop, and we stop. Okay, so then we yarn over again and we pull through the other 2 loops. Now this is known as a double crochet stitch. Okay, and this is how it looks. Again, we yarn over and we go in and we yarn over and we pull out. We have 3 loops, so we yarn over, pull through the first 2, and yarn over, pull through the next 2. Okay, and that is a double crochet stitch. And we are just going to repeat this till the end of our row. Okay, and that's how it looks. Okay, so now I'm done with my final double crochet. Okay, the final stitch. Okay, as you can see, this is our double crochet. Okay, now I'm going to show you the final stitch for today's video. Okay, so now this stitch is the tallest stitch. It's really tall out of all these stitches. So for that, we are going to chain 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then we're going to skip all 4 chains and we're going to work into the first stitch. Okay, so we're going to yarn over twice before going in. Okay, so we have 3 loops before inserting our hook. Okay, again, we'll yarn over once, yarn over twice, and then we go into the stitch, yarn over, pull out. So now we have 4 loops on our hook. And just like the double crochet, we're going to pull through 2 loops at a time. So yarn over, pull through the first set of 2, then yarn over, pull through the next set of 2. Okay, and then we yarn over and pull through the final 3rd set of 2. And that is a treble crochet. So now this is how it looks. Again, yarn over once, yarn over twice, go in, yarn over, pull out, and yarn over, pull through the first 2 loops, and yarn over, pull through the next 2 loops, and finally yarn over through the final 2 loops. And that is a treble crochet. This is like a really gappy stitch, so you can use it when you're trying to make like a net kind of look. You can continue this till the end of our row. Okay, so now I'm done with my triple crochet stitch. As you can see, it's a very gappy and very tall stitch. Okay, so now I'm going to fasten off. And to do that, I'm going to chain 1. Okay, so there are many ways to fasten off, but I like to use this simple method by just chaining 1. Okay, and then you're going to take your scissors, and then you're going to cut your yarn. You want to make sure the tail end is like a medium length, enough for you to weave in. Okay, and then you're going to pull your hook through. Okay, just pull it through like that. And you pull on the tail end to tighten it. Okay, and now I'm done with my swatch of basic crochet stitches. Okay, now I'll show you how to weave it in. So now I'm using a needle known as a darning needle. Okay, it's called that because it has a blunt tip, so it won't hurt your hands. Okay, so you want to make sure you're gonna buy that. Okay, you're gonna thread your yarn through your darning needle, and then you're gonna go through any loops you find on your stitches. Okay, just any loops. Okay, there's no right or wrong way. You just want to make sure your yarn is concealed in like a proper way, like you go through many sides and stuff. Okay, you also want to make sure your darning needle doesn't show on both sides of the swatch or any project you're working on. Otherwise your yarn is going to come out, your tail is going to come out. See, right now, as you can see, it's showing on one side, so you can clearly see your tail end. So you want to go in between the loops like this, making sure that it doesn't show on the sides. Okay, like that. And then you're going to pull your darning needle through and your tail end along with it. And you're just gonna go in all directions, front, back, left, right. I mean, since this is a swatch, I'm not being too secure. Okay, but you want to make sure you go through all loops and your darning needle doesn't show. Okay, I'm gonna make sure it's extra secure. As you can see, you can just see me going through any loop I find. Okay, making sure my tail end is concealed. Now, when you're pulling your tail end, you shouldn't pull it too hard, otherwise it will get wrinkled like that. So you have to adjust your tail end a little. Okay, and then once you're happy with it, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut your tail end as close as possible, but making sure you don't cut your stitch. Okay, you have to make sure you don't cut your stitch. Okay, so that's all. Now you're done weaving it. Okay, and you can do the same for the other tail end. Okay, it's just the same process. So now I'm done with my swatch, and as you can see, these are my single crochets and then my half double crochets. Okay, and then my double crochets and my triple crochets. Okay, so I hope you found this video really helpful. Okay, please check out my other videos, and if you want to see more helpful videos or more project ideas, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, goodbye guys. If you like this video, try checking these two out. I'm pretty sure you'll like them too.